Well, I work for Residor in the field of business development, and I am heading business development for Residor for the last 2 years, almost in the role of Chief Development Officer. My job is to grow the Residor operated brands. We have 5 of these brands, of which 4 are active throughout Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Well, if I look at it on the entire career, which is starting in India, and one of the most significant phases of my career was in 1989, when, because of an exchange program between India and France, I had the opportunity to come on a scholarship to IMI. It was 200 years of French Revolution celebration, but also the year of Festival of France in India and the Festival of India in France. And as a part of that exchange program, certain scholarships were created, and I was a fortunate recipient of one. So I think 1989 was significant. 1991, I graduated from IMI, and to my surprise, a company I worked for in Germany was able to get work permit and visas for me to come back from India and work for them in Germany. So I think that was the second significant step. The third one was when I joined Carlson in '98, and I think the most significant was this lucky transition from Carlson to Residor, because Residor is truly a company that practices the Euro-American way of working, because it's the European management and a culmination of American branding and American marketing. And that transition, I think, was the most significant event that happened for me in 2002. I think IMI is a journey. Like life is a journey. I think IMI and the 2 years that I spent at IMI helped me to work with different cultures and to adapt yourself to different kind of environment, but also to adapt to tight deadlines and making things very precise and short and being ahead of the game. I think what IMI teaches you is not only how to work with different nationalities and different cultures, but it also teaches you how to anticipate, and anticipate in advance, much in advance, because you have to always anticipate in advance. But much in advance is I think, something special that I learned at IMI. And of course, when I came to IMI, I was never abroad. I had only lived in India. And that definitely marked the beginning of the big change that happened in my life thereafter. The values, I mean, that's a difficult question, because I think it's very personal. It is not a value. For me was some very strong relationships, some theoretical values too, because finance was not really my core strength, but real estate and finance from a theoretical value point of view, which helped me later succeed in my job. To be ethical, I did not really like at that time, but I see the importance of that more and more in a practical life today. And as I said, I think the main value that IMI inculcates in you is the ability to work in cross-cultural teams, which is really the real life out there, especially in Europe, because we don't have a United States of Europe. We have a Euro and we have a European Union. But France is France, Germany is Germany, and UK is UK, and Benelux is Benelux, and Italy is Italy, and it will stay for at least many more years like that. I think all professors, generally speaking, were good, and this is not a political statement, but there were 3 or 4 who really left a lasting memory. If there was no IMI, I would have possibly been still in India, and I might have been still doing well, but IMI helped me to come to France. When I was in France, the German wall was coming down. So I opted to do a monograph and write a thesis on the development of hotel business in the former East Germany. And because of that, I also ended up working in Germany. That's one of the key reasons. But the second is obviously, as I said, the cross-cultural transition, your ability to work with different cultures, The third is obviously the languages. If you are in Europe, you have an opportunity to speak the languages you might have even learned in India, like French or German. But I think this beautiful setting in France of an American way of education is very, very special. And fourthly, is the course content is by far the best that I have seen, because I do visit a lot of hotel schools, and I think a master's from IMI is really worth a lot. And to give you an example, since I became the head of development in our organization, almost all the new recruits are former IMI graduates. The entire industry in Europe is dominated by former IMI graduates. I think one thing which I have noticed with graduates, whether they are from IMI or other business schools, is just because you have an IMI degree does not mean you become something big after you graduate. I think the most important thing that I could tell the students is, after IMI, take the first or the second year following IMI as a part of your extended practical learning, and that would help you succeed in life. It becomes very difficult in any business school when you get the helicopter view of how the industry works, how the professionals work, how the CEOs and the presidents think, but then you start at a managerial level, which is very, very, at a basic managerial level, much lower down the ladder. You should have that thinking, but you're not allowed to practice it because you do not have the authority to do so. So you have to be patient and take the practical part after school as your extended years of learning. I think to be humble and to be polite and let people discover what extra you can do than to try and show off your skills. I think it's very important for the alumni not to forget that they were once upon a time a student in the same school, and taking some time out of their diaries and taking some time out to help and coach the students is the best service they can give to the school. And the stronger the alumni association, the stronger will be the school, and vice versa. And also you will be a stronger professional to be surrounded by such a strong set of people. And I think that's one area where IMI lacks in today, because it's a fairly younger institute compared to the Lausanne Hotel School or compared to Cornell or compared to other institutions that have been there. But I think in the last 4 to 5 years, IMI has made significant progress, not only in having better communication with the alumni and the alumni is having better communication with the school, but also an example of inviting industry leaders to the classroom, like an event this evening, especially former alumni from or former students from the school, helps the school and helps the alumni for both to grow together and become strong together.